And today is an incredible day and a milestone. As promised, I wanted to bring you something truly special today. You already know where I'm actually standing. This is a simulated version of the International Space Station. Guess who's headed here and will be reaching very soon? Obviously, you know the answer to that as well. It is Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla and the crew of Axiom 4. The amazing, beautiful pictures of him blasting off into space on Axiom 4. They're headed towards the International Space Station today and will be reaching there at 4 p.m. tomorrow. I had this wonderful conversation with his mother, Asha Shukla, earlier today. Take a look. And joining us now, it is our great privilege to welcome Asha Shukla, the mother of Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla, and Nidhi Shukla, the sister of Astronaut Shubhanshu Shukla. Our great honor to have the family of a spaceman who has made the entire country proud today. Asha ji, मैं आपसे शुरू करूंगा. आज पूरा देश आपको प्रणाम करता है. हमने सब देखा कि आप कैसे भावुक भी हुए थे आज जब लॉन्च हो रहा था. हमें बताइए कि आपके मन में क्या चल रहा था उस वक्त जब वो लॉन्च का काउंटडाउन हो रहा था और जब सक्सेसफुल लॉन्च भी हुआ था. आशा जी.
भावुक तो अब ऐसा पल था कि बच्चा हमारा इतनी ऊंचाइयों पे जा रहा था उस समय, इसलिए भावुक थोड़ा हो गई थी मैं. बट खुशी का पल भी था. वो खुशी के आंसू थे जो आप लोगों को दिखाई दिए, तो हम लोग ले खुशी का क्षण था. बहुत ज़्यादा जब खुशी होती तब भी आंखों में आंसू आ जाते हैं. वही पल था बस उस समय. और बाकी बहुत अच्छा लगा. बहुत गर्व महसूस हो रहा है. हमारा बच्चा इतनी ऊंचाई पे जा रहा है. बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है मुझे.
पिछले कुछ दिन कैसे थे आपके लिए आशा जी? काफ़ी सस्पेंस था, काफ़ी टेंशन हुआ होगा क्योंकि ये मिशन 2-3 बार डिले और पोस्टपोन भी हुआ था. क्या आपके मन में ये एक कंसर्न था कि आज भी शायद वो डिले हो सकता है?
हाँ, कल शाम तक तो ये लग रहा था कि ऐसा ना हो फिर कैंसिल हो जाए, लेकिन कल शाम को क्लियर हो गया था कि अब कैंसिल नहीं होगा, बात जाएगा. और इसके पहले जो कैंसिलेशन हुआ वो तो 2-4 बार. अब इतने बड़ा मिशन है, इसमें तो कुछ ना कुछ कैंसिल होता ही रहता है. किन्हीं कारणों से, टेक्निकल कारणों से कुछ गड़बड़ी रही होगी, इसीलिए बार बार कैंसिल हो रहा था. अब जब सब सही हो गया तब उन्होंने लॉन्च कर दिया. सही हो गया सब.
लॉन्च के पहले आपका पिछला कॉन्वर्सेशन शुभांशु से कब हुआ था? क्या बातचीत हुई? क्या आप कुछ शेयर कर सकते हैं आशा जी?
हाँ, बात आज ही सवेरे हुई थी. लॉन्चिंग के पहले वही 7 बजे करीब बात हुई है. 7 बजे बात हुई थी हम लोगों की. तो सब ठीक था, बढ़िया था. कह रहा था मैं बहुत खुश हूँ, बहुत बहुत एक्साइटेड था लॉन्च के लिए कि हाँ मैं जा रहा हूँ. मम्मी पापा आप लोग अपना ध्यान रखना और मैं जल्दी से जल्दी आता हूँ मिशन से लौट के, फिर आप लोगों से मुलाकात करता हूँ. ये बात हुई थी सवेरे आज.
आपने क्या शुभांशु को कुछ एडवाइस दिया, कुछ ज्ञान दिया?
अरे उस बच्चे को क्या एडवाइस देंगे, वो तो पूरी दुनिया को खुद ही अपनी सलाह सब कुछ दे रहा है अच्छे से. हाँ, तो उसको हम क्या एडवाइस देंगे.
नहीं, आपके मन में इतना गर्व होगा, हम समझ सकते हैं आशा जी. आपका बेटा एक एस फाइटर पायलट है वायुसेना में और अब वो अभी एक मिशन पे चल चुके हैं इंटरनेशनल स्पेस स्टेशन की ओर. 28 घंटे का जर्नी होगा. अगला आपका कांटेक्ट कब होगा? आप उसका इंतजार कर रहे होंगे अभी.
कांटेक्ट का तो अभी पता नहीं कब होगा. ये तो हमें भी नहीं मालूम है कांटेक्ट कब होगा. हो सकता बात हो एक बार बीच में, लेकिन अभी कुछ कंफर्म नहीं है. और वैसे तो अब जब वापस आने के बाद ही मुलाकात होगी, बातचीत होगी.
जी, और इंटरनेशनल स्पेस स्टेशन के बारे में आपने काफ़ी रिसर्च किया होगा कि लाइवलीहुड और लिविंग कैसा होता है इंटरनेशनल स्पेस स्टेशन में. तो आपका क्या ख्याल है?
ठीक है, देखा है मैंने, उसको पढ़ा है. वहाँ इंटरनेशनल स्पेस स्टेशन के बारे में काफ़ी जानकारी मिली है. सब मालूम है वहाँ के विषय में. थोड़ा जो हम भी पढ़ते ही हैं, इधर उधर से जानकारी मिलती, तो पता है. कोई ऐसी डरने वाली बात नहीं है. वहाँ के जैसी ज़िंदगी होती, लाइफ जैसे सबकी होती है और एस्ट्रोनॉट की वैसे हमारा बेटा भी रहेगा।
और हमने पढ़ा है कुछ मीडिया रिपोर्ट्स में, और हमने अभी ये DRDL के साइंटिस्ट से भी बात की, जो खाना और जो प्रेपरेशंस हैं जो शुभांशु के साथ गया है इस मिशन पर, जो फूड आइटम्स है जो वो लेके जा रहे हैं, उसके बारे में आपको सारी डिटेल्स हैं आशा जी कि वो क्या क्या लेके जा रहे हैं ऊपर?
हाँ, ये हमने भी कहीं पढ़ा ही था कि मतलब वो अपने साथ में गाजर का हलवा, मूंग दाल का हलवा और आमरस वगैरह लेके जा रहे हैं। तो जैसे आप लोगों को इन्फॉर्मेशन मिली वैसे ही हमको भी मिली थी इन्फॉर्मेशन कि वो अपने साथ में इंडियन खाना कुछ लेके जा रहे हैं।
तो क्या ये मिशन टीम से आपसे कोई संपर्क में है कि शुभांशु से अगला जो संपर्क होगा या वीडियो कॉल होगा या फ़ोन कॉल होगा स्पेस स्टेशन से कब होगा, ये कुछ जानकारी आपको मिला है अभी तक?
नहीं, इस विषय में हमें भी कोई जानकारी नहीं है।
Nidhi, your sentiments, such a proud family today, your mother's tears have moved an entire country today. We are so proud of Shubhanshu, so we can only imagine how your family must be feeling today. Tell us about your thoughts. You're the sister of a complete superstar who is headed towards the space station now, and all of you are superstars because the country is watching you.
Yes, country is watching us, and we are very proud. And it is a very overwhelming moment for us. Our brother is going. He's crossing such limits.
Yeah.
We never thought this scene will happen in our family, but it is happening, and it is real. Still, we are not in the believing condition, but we have to believe it. He's in space now. That is for real.
Absolutely, he is in space for real. It's a 20-hour journey. Asha ji, आपका बेटा ग्रुप कैप्टन शुभांशु शुक्ला, और मैं अपने दर्शकों को बताऊं कि ग्रुप कैप्टन का रैंक is equivalent to colonel in the army, ताकि people can understand what that means. He is basically equivalent of a colonel. आशा जी, 28 घंटे का जर्नी है, आपका बेटा एक फाइटर पायलट है, ये जो काम है, ये रिस्की काम है, ये बहुत एक्साइटिंग काम है, दिलचस्प काम है। एज अ मदर आशा जी, आप इसको हैंडल कैसे कर सकते हैं, कैसे करते हैं आप?
रिस्क तो देखिए हर चीज़ में, हर जगह है, हर कोई काम जैसा कोई नया काम करता है उसमें रिस्क रहता है। तो अब 28 घंटे की जर्नी है, लोग बाहर जाते हैं तो भी 20-22 घंटे की जर्नी में बैठ के जाते हैं, तो ये तो खुद जाके ड्राइव करके जाएगा, तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, डर वाली कोई बात नहीं है। वो सब हैंडल कर लेगा बेटा, बहुत मजबूत। हाँ, पूरा
फुल कॉन्फिडेंस ऑन चाइल्ड।
पूरा कॉन्फिडेंस है अपने बच्चे के ऊपर हमें, वो आराम से लेके जाएगा।
और आपके मन में जब शुभांशु चुने थे इस मिशन के लिए आशा जी, आपको गर्व तो महसूस हुआ ही होगा, लेकिन एज अ मदर आपने कैसे फील किया होगा, क्योंकि ये एक 1 in a million टाइप का अपॉर्चुनिटी है और अब वो पूरा हो गया है।
चुने गए थे जब एस्ट्रोनॉट गगनयान के लिए 4 चुने गए थे, तब तो बहुत अच्छा लगा था, मगर उन 4 में से जब इसको अकेले चुना गया तब ये खुशी और ज़्यादा दुगनी हो गई हमारी कि हम उन 4 बच्चों से भी ये अकेला चुना गया है उसमें नासा के लिए, तो खुशी और दुगनी हो गई हमारी।
Nidhi ji, when was your last conversation with your brother? What did you talk about? Brother and sisters always have interesting conversations. What was it about?
Yes, of course. Today early morning we have a chit chat, little small. When he was going for his preparation, and we have a little small chit chat. Early morning, around 5:30 p.m. to 6 p.m.
What did you tell him in that chit chat, Nidhi ji?
He said to us, we chit chat. Don't worry, Shubhanshu, when you were 16-year-old and you were sitting on the train station going for the training, Pune, and so if a 16-year-old boy can do that training, so now this training is very much easy for you. You can do it very, very good, and go and complete your mission very good. And he was very happy. He was telling us, don't take stress, I'm coming back by touching the stars.
Amazing, amazing. For so basically for 15 days, 15 दिन के लिए शुभांशु अब इंटरनेशनल स्पेस स्टेशन में होंगे. काफ़ी एडवांस्ड एक्सपेरिमेंट्स भी करेंगे. आशा जी, आप उसके बारे में भी पढ़ा होगा मीडिया में, और ये बहुत एडवांस्ड कटिंग एज टाइप के एक्सपेरिमेंट्स करेंगे वहाँ पे. उसके बारे में आपका क्या सोच है आशा जी? ये साइंटिफिक एक्सपेरिमेंट्स के लिए, ह्यूमैनिटी के लिए गए हैं इंटरनेशनल स्पेस स्टेशन.
भेजे गए हैं, जिस काम से गए हैं वो अपना मिशन उसमें सक्सेस होके लौटेंगे. अपना जो करना है वो करके ही वापस आएंगे. अच्छे से करेंगे और अच्छे से करेगा मन लगा के. बहुत एक्साइट है वो इन सब चीज़ों को करने के लिए, बहुत ज़्यादा एक्साइट है.
खुद वेरी एक्साइटेड टू डू ऑल थिंग्स.
सब कर लेगा, सब करेगा वो.
और जो देश के लिए एक संदेश गया, ये मेरा आखिरी सवाल आप दोनों के लिए, देश के लिए एक संदेश गया है कि भारत का बेटा it has gone to touch the stars, as Nidhi you mentioned. It's a day of pride, so much for the family. But do you feel like you are, the entire country is your family today? पूरा देश आपका परिवार है आज, आशा जी?
Of course, of course.
आप खुश?
बिल्कुल, बिल्कुल. Now he's not our son only. Now he's not our son only. He is India's country's kid. He's not only our son. Family is now on the second number. For his country, his India is on the priority basis. On the first number, he will choose country. On the second number, he will choose his family. For sure, I'm damn sure.
Amazing. I am so happy to hear that. आशा जी, आप पूरा पब्लिक आई में आ गए हैं. आपका प्राइवेट लाइफ को क्या हो रहा है अभी मैं समझ सकता हूँ. मीडिया वाले तो पूरा तंग कर रहे हैं पूरा दिन आपको. आखिरी सवाल इसी मुद्दे पे कि आप
कोई बात नहीं, ये भी बड़े नसीब से मिलता है.
जी जी, आप एक पब्लिक फिगर बन गए हो आज आशा जी. आखिरी सवाल.
जी जी जी, ये तो बहुत अच्छे प्राउड मूवमेंट की बात है. तो बहुत ये सबको नहीं नसीब होता. ये भगवान ने हमको दी है अपॉर्चुनिटी, तो अच्छी बात है हमारे लिए, तो अच्छा ही है.
जी, पूरा देश से फिर से मैं आप दोनों को प्रणाम करता हूँ. एंड टू द रेस्ट ऑफ द शुक्ला परिवार, थैंक यू फॉर योर सन सर्विस. धन्यवाद फॉर शुभांशु सर्विस. वी विश हिम द बेस्ट. हम एनडीटीवी की तरफ से पूरा 1 मिनट तक हम ट्रैक करेंगे अगले the 28-hour journey till the International Space Station, and we will be in touch with you. Thank you very much, Asha ji. Thank you very much, Nidhi ji, for joining us here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And after that 28-hour journey aboard the Axiom 4 mission, by around 4 p.m. India time tomorrow, Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla will be at one of the most exclusive addresses in human history, the International Space Station, a floating science laboratory 400 kilometers above Earth, traveling at 28,000 kilometers per hour. And for the next few days, this is what he will call home. Now, as you can see, I've cast myself into this simulated International Space Station main control center setting. It looks nice and well how a space station should actually be. But what is life actually like up here when 4 p.m. when Shubhanshu reaches here tomorrow? What is Group Captain Shubhanshu, the Indian astronaut, going to experience along with his colleagues and the astronauts who are already up there? Well, to begin with, every single second on board the International Space Station is scheduled. Shukla's days will begin with a sunrise, one of 16 he'll see every 24 hours thanks to the ISS orbiting Earth once every 90 minutes. He'll get roughly 6.5 hours of sleep each day, floating in a small sleeping bag tethered inside his personal cabin. No beds, no showers, just zero gravity. Discipline is what is imposed on each and every person on the International Space Station. He'll brush his teeth with a small dab of water. He'll swallow the paste. He'll freshen up with wet wipes and meals. Rehydratable pouches of dal, rice, vegetables, I kid you not, fruits, even his favorite moong dal halwa and amras, and his mother, you just heard confirming that. All of this stuff is vacuum sealed and heated before being eaten with a spoon. Now remember, Shubhanshu is a payload specialist. Apart from being the pilot of that rocket, at the ISS, Shukla will conduct experiments in microgravity, ranging from fluid dynamics to material behavior and biology. He will be working very closely with crew from the US, Spain, Italy, representing the ISRO Gaganyaan collaboration on a truly global platform. He will also exercise for nearly 2 hours daily, because in microgravity, your muscles and bones begin to weaken fast. So astronauts train with resistance machines and treadmills that hold them in place using bungee cords. What about comfort and communication? Surprisingly decent, I have to tell you. Group Captain Shukla will be in regular contact with mission control. There's email, scheduled video calls with family, and even a live link for public interaction. So maybe even a press conference with Shubhanshu could be happening in a few days from now. There's also a viewing cupola, a panoramic glass dome on the International Space Station where astronauts often go to relax and watch Earth go by. Just imagine that view. One of the most breathtaking views a human can experience. That's what our man in space is going to be seeing. Well, the quality of life, it's pretty Spartan, it's pretty spare, but it is sufficient, it is functional. Comfort is sacrificed, obviously, for science, but there is comfort. Privacy is minimal, but camaraderie is very, very high. There's no weather, no traffic, no phones, but also no distractions, just focus, purpose, and the humbling silence of the universe, of space, of the eternal emptiness around them. If Rakesh Sharma famously said, "Sare jahan se acha," what will Shubhanshu say from the ISS? We will know starting 4 p.m. tomorrow. For India, a giant leap toward a future where space is no longer a destination, but a permanent address. And to know more about what life is really like on board the ISS, well, it's one thing to hear about it from me. It's another thing to hear about it from someone who's actually been to the International Space Station. NDTV science editor Pallav Bagla spoke to former ISS astronauts Thomas Pesquet and Haza Al-Mansouri on what life is really like on board the ISS, which Shubhanshu reaches at 4 p.m. tomorrow.
How is it like when you go in for the docking at the International Space Station? Is it, again, a tricky operation?
It is a tricky operation. You have to be very, very precise. Those are vehicles that are flying at 28,000 kilometers per hour, right, roughly. And you have to control their relative velocity in a very, very tight manner so that you don't impact on one with the other. And so this is all very, very dynamic, very controlled by the engineers at the control center. But from the crew perspective, you've been launched, you see the emptiness, the vastness of space, and then you see your target, you're getting close, and then you realize how big and huge the space station is. It's really magical. It's like a castle in the sky. And as you get closer, you see the complexity, you see the sheer size of it. It's really, you have to force yourself to sometimes look at your instruments rather than just looking at the space station. But it feels really good to get there, to have that contact, hear that sound, and then, equalizing the pressure, opening the hatch. It feels like you've made it to your destination.
Let's spend some time understanding how is life at the International Space Station. Indians have no experience about it. And let's start with the basics. What do you eat there?
No.
And how do you eat in weightlessness?
So the funny thing is life in weightlessness is not hugely complicated, but it's different. You have to relearn how to do simple things like sleeping, doing your hygiene, or eating. And eating, for instance, everything floats, right? Everything is in free fall, that's weightlessness. And so you cannot put anything on the table, like it would float again. You cannot put your spoon on the table, it would float away. So everything comes with Velcro. And sometimes we even put tape on the table so that it sticks. And you would be opening a can. All the food is in canned or in pouches or dehydrated foods. And then you prepare your food like you would a meal. You're asking your crew members what they feel like eating. Sometimes you prepare for them, sometimes they prepare for themselves. And then you have your own spoon, eat your food, always hold your packet, your pouch, or your can until it's over. and if you stick it, you have to make sure it sticks. And the beginners at the beginning, it's always fun to see them eat because it's hard to control. Things like rice, I mean, imagine rice, it goes everywhere, and then as they're trying to catch the bits of rice floating away, they send even more rice away, so sometimes there's a bit of a catastrophe. But you know, that's how you learn, and then you get used to it. Sometimes we even have some special food for special occasions like Christmas, birthdays, national days, things like that.
Do you get lonely when you're at the International Space Station?
You know, not really, because, so first of all, there's always a handful of us at the same time between all the different agencies and the different nationalities. So my second mission, the minimum was 7 crew members. So that's actually a lot of people. My first mission, the minimum was 3, which at the beginning I thought was going to feel a little bit lonely, but no, it was also a good break from you know, the hectic life when there's so many people around, 7, 11 crew members. And you have so much work, you know, 12 hours and a half every day, plus, you know, taking pictures. You're so busy that you don't have time to think too much, which is good. You want to be busy in those environments.
So what do you do there? What work do you do?
Oh, on the space station.
Only looking out?
No, unfortunately, first of all, there's very few windows, and then there's no time to look out. Every day you've got 2 hours and a half of exercise and maybe 40 minutes for a lunch break. The rest of the time is just work. It's 12 hours and a half work days. I'd say 30% is maybe maintenance and logistics, 30-40% maintenance and logistics, and the rest is just research.
How is it to live on the International Space Station?
I mean, like, you are floating, you know? You are watching Earth, you know, and like the speed of the station more than 28,000 kilometers per hour. So it is like you are completing one orbit in about 90 minutes. So you can see different places in just 90 minutes. You can see day and night every 45 minutes.
How do you do daily activities on space? A simple thing like, how do you brush your teeth?
You know, it's a different experience. Everything is floating. Water is not that.
They're round balls.
Yeah, it's like a ball. So because of water tension, it's floating and it's like in a ball, a shape. So we woke up at about 6 a.m. That is Greenwich time, London time, and then we start to go use the restroom hygiene and everything. You have to be more like careful where you place things because they're gonna float.